A former Bellevue police officer accused of a crime involving children changes his plea in two cases today. The first is over claims that Ryan Augustin solicited sexual photos from a 17-year-old. In Sarpy County Court, Augustin entered a no contest plea. In this second case, a woman claimed Augustin put a gun to her head and held her against her will. For that incident, Augustin pled no contest to terroristic threats and use of a weapons charge. Sentencing in both cases is set for June. Bellevue police fired Augustin ahead of his arrest in November. He spent 5 years with the department.